All right. So we are moving into the last few days. This is definitely not the time to be missing. Some people, as it gets towards the very last few days of class, this is the time they get anxious. How many people are getting anxious? I know Sheldon is getting anxious out there. Yeah, it's exciting. And it should be, people should be excited, should be thrilled. You should be anyway in this class because you are moving towards um, being out in that career. How many people are excited for their career? You just want to get started. Seems like we are always hearing the reference, the real world, getting out there, getting started. You're doing it. You are already started. Um, you're networking, right? Everybody networking. You should be. You're networking even if you don't realize it. When you're talking to your people that you're attending school with, you're talking to your instructors, you're talking to people, hey, I'm going to school for this. I am in, excuse me, this field. You are networking. It is so important. You're working on your resume, you're tweaking it, you're getting those keywords. You are getting those keywords. I can't emphasize that. If you're not using those keywords, you're never going to be seen. You're invisible. So, yes, I'm going to keep harping on it. You're going to be sick of hearing about it. But if I don't tell you to do it and you don't do it, you're you're wasting your time. You're not getting anywhere. So please, please, please keep doing. Tweak that resume. That resume is not one and done. It is a living document. You are always going to keep updating. Keep that master document. Every time you go to apply for a position, think, is this ready for that position? I really want to work there. And if you really do, read what they are asking for, shuffle things around on that skill list, stack it in your favor. Why wouldn't you? You really want it? Why wouldn't you put forth the effort? Okay? If I said, here's a stack of $1 million, are you going to go, yeah, it's okay. If you're going to give it to me and I don't have to put forth any effort, yeah, I'll take the $1 million off your hand. Yeah, I bet you would put forth a little bit of effort to get that $1 million. That career, think about how easy that $1 million over the time you're working, you're actually gaining that $1 million. Add up your salary over the years, you're wealthier than you think you are. Are you rich? Think about not only the income, but the benefits, the health care, the vision care, your life balance. Rich and wealthy are two different things. Decide which is more important. These are things that we do as we go through, and you are in your career. Start thinking of yourself as a professional. Go through that resume. Take off student. You're not a student anymore. That is not your title. Start updating, start tweaking. You're going through those interviews. You're sitting upright. You're smiling. You're not answering the questions yes, no, yes, no. You've thought about these. You've practiced. You're doing those mock interviews. You're giving fluid answers. Stress questions? No stress. You've practiced. We're giving you the tools. It's like any job. If you go in and don't use your tools, your job is not done as well as it should be. Okay? You gonna hammer in a nail with bare hands? Some people can. Most people end up with a bloody pulp. Use your tools. These are tools. We can't make you use them, but those that will do a better job. All right? So these are the things I want for you because I truly do. Okay. I was talking with somebody I won't mention, but these screens, I designed them for you. Together as instructors, we create these things for you. Why? Not just because it's our job. We could just take what the book says and he say, here, do this, memorize, learn this. All of us come from true working backgrounds. Okay? Worked in big trucking, worked in hospitals, work and still do veterinary care and animal rescue. Systems analyst. Boy, that's an exciting job. Telling people, yes, indeed, you have to plug in your computer so that it will actually work. Okay. Doing all these things. Have you ever trained a doctor? Let me tell you, they're the most pleasant people, telling them what to do, not like they have a God complex. Been in the working trenches. We all have. And we've seen how horrible people can be, and we've seen how incredible people can be, and how a mentor can lift you up and train you and get you even better places, all through networking. Okay? So, some of the assignments you've had this week, we've asked you, where can you network? And your answers, some of them have been so brilliant. Some of you thought outside the box. Network with people who aren't in your career. How many people thought about that? Network with people not in your career. Why? Because they will give you skills and insight into different ways of handling things. Remember those transferable skills? Transfer. What are some of those skills? People management, conflict management. They're across all boundaries. We're asking you to interview people in any career field, those managers. What do they know? Conflict management, people management, team building. There's a method to the madness. And quite frankly, I'm pretty mad. I'm pretty crazy. I'm bona fide cuckoo. But we're asking you to do this because you're going to have a leg up on other people in that interview process. But in that interview process, when they ask you questions, don't say yes, no, give them more. Our guest, Princess, she said, be specific in your descriptions. Remember that? Yes? Be specific. You be specific. Give the details. You are again above. And that's the thing. If you go in to buy a car and I say, it's got wheels and a motor and a seat and a steering wheel, or you can have this Lamborghini that will do everything for you. Which are you going to take? You want all the options. That employer wants you with all the options. But if you don't sell yourself, you don't give them those options, they're going to choose choice number two. All right. So you have all the options. You are that good. And I'm going to keep telling you this. And it's not me just painting you in a rosy picture. I see it because I read what you write. Now, I know when someone's blowing smoke and I let it slide. You're not pulling wool over my eyes. Trust me, I have books published. If you Google me on Amazon, I know a bit about writing too. I told you I'm older than dinosaurs. I've been around the block so many times, they had to repave it, okay? So I know when someone's used AI because AI puts markers in there and my system goes, bingo, 90% of this is AI. All right? I teach computer security. I have all the flags that pop up. I let those things slide because I'm hoping it's teaching people lessons. You're going to live with the guilt that you did this and you didn't get it on your own. That is worse sometimes than someone saying, I caught ya. Because you're going to be in a group where everybody's talking about what they've accomplished and you didn't accomplish it yourself. So always be true to yourself. Always know what you know and be proud of it and express it. That's a difference between ego and skills, because skills you can always back up. Ego, people will point out what you don't know. All right. So let's get to getting, because we've got things we've got to do. All right. Everybody good? Yes, yes, yes. So here we go. And I have to tell you every step of the way, and I'm going to, and you're going to get tired of hearing it. I am impressed with the work y'all are doing. When I'm not impressed is when people don't do work, because that's disappointing and shows me work ethics that I don't want to deal with. But that's few and far between. Right now, new entry on the screen, student survey, ding, 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 ding. Click that if you didn't take the one in the email and the text, because I sent them out there. Please, I don't see these results as far as in, I don't know who says what. We get filtered numbers and things like that sent back to us, but more importantly, they tell us if there's things that students want us to change. Okay, this is how things change. Okay, so this is why your screens look so different than the other career prep classes. Everybody else's classes are nice and just text. I like to make things pretty. I like to make them nice and clickable, easy for y'all to follow, because that was feedback that I got. So please take time to fill this out. It helps everybody coming back from you. We are down here. Oops, before I go, check this out. Class ends Thursday. That is 1 week from today, 10 p.m. Not 11:59, 10 p.m. Boom, we all get booted out. And by we, I mean me too. So don't expect any extensions beyond that. I will not accept assignments sent late in email. I can't. It's not fair to everybody else. So if you send me something after 10 p.m., it's not counted. Nope, 10 p.m. is the cutoff. You don't shop in a store after it closes. That's called breaking the law. Okay. Well, here we have rules. We follow them. 10 p.m. cutoff. If you're in the middle of your final exam when 10 p.m. happens, you get kicked out. Anything you haven't answered becomes wrong. Okay. So we know what's due and when it's due. Any week 2 extensions, those end Sunday, you will not be allowed to have anything beyond that. All right. Week 3 ends Sunday. And tomorrow, week 4 assignments open. Just so you know what's happening in week 4, we're going to have a thank you letter. We're going to talk about that in week 4, but that opens tomorrow. And so just to give you a heads up in here, let me take this out of student view. So those of you that want to get a jump start on that, we talked about thank you notes and emails. This is a brand new assignment because this thank you letter is so important. We added that in this month. And so here is how to write a thank you letter. And you're going to write one and attach it in, or submit a picture or document, etc. So that's what you're going to do. So you're going to do a thank you letter. Very important. Get you used to doing that so you'll know what to do there. Okay. So that's an important one. The other thing here is this mock interview debrief. We talked about that. After you have this interview, you should know uh, what to do. Okay, so ask yourself what interview questions were asked. I want to know, what did they ask you? What did you learn from the mock interview, and what would you change? Okay, this is an honest question. You go to the interview, I don't. What didn't you like, or would you like differently in that interview? I pass that feedback back to career services because they're the ones that host it. You notice I didn't. I'm getting the results back. I include the sheet they send me. I just do the score based on that. I don't mark it. That's for them. So you do that. Then you have scenarios here. What you're going to do is you are going to see this video and you're going to list and define 3 of the 10 um, uh, ethics in here. Now, this is the last week discussion. So those of you listening, pay close attention. Those of you that don't listen, I'll know from the way you answer this discussion. But if you're listening, you only have to post once in the week 4. Okay, let me make that clear. You only have to post once in week 4's discussion because it's a short week. Those of you that don't listen, you'll be in there posting twice or more, thinking you have to do it. You're welcome to do that, but you only have to post once. Everybody got that? You only have to post once in week 4. So I give you a little bit of a break because it's a short week. See, I'm not as horrible as some people might think I am. Okay. Now, so that takes care of that. Um, this leadership in action, this is interesting. There's 2 scenarios here. So you get to see what it's like to be the manager yourself. You're going to watch 2 little videos here, and you have to decide what to do in the scenarios. There's no right and wrong answer, but I want you to think this through. You're the manager. Your decision can be either good or bad in the eyes of the person above you. Remember, it's not always easy being the person making the decision. So that's what's going to happen there. That's kind of a fun one because you get to be the one that makes that decision. Okay, now this one here, the results from career services. I put this in. You're going to see your grade coming back from career services, and you're going to see notes in there that I put based on what they said. Take time to look at that. There's nothing really you want to do or need to do in here. If you feel like you need to do something, you can type in done in the text area, but you don't have to do anything. So it's in here just so that you can see your grade. Now, that interview you did with the manager, that's where you're going to put it in right here. And then right down here, your final career plan. Pay close attention to that. There is a template attached. Okay. And let's see if it opens it up here. It's taking its time. It might be having issues with the display. With me doing the whole demo. Here we go. So this template is also in your book, but your long-term goals, which you've done in week 1 and last week, you put them here and fill out this form. If you fill out this form and put everything in here, then the only thing else left to do is right here, boom, 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 and you'll be done. You've got most of the information from the first part and the second part, okay? If you can't download the form and fill it out, just come here, take a look at the form, write each little part out, and then write the information under it, okay? You should be able to copy this and paste it, if nothing else, and type it in, okay? Now, I know this sounds like a lot, but most of these things go really quick. So that's going to be your week 4. So I want to go over that so you'd have information in case you want to start on the weekend, because again, next week is fast. Okay, so today we're going to talk about some LinkedIn. You have a LinkedIn profile and your career plan step 2. Remember, you are going back to step 1, getting those long-term goals, and then adding short-term goals underneath it. Okay? So, long-term goal, short-term goals under it, long-term goals, short-term goals under it. Okay? If you do this well, your other part, your ending part, will be easier. This is big points. This is a 200 point assignment. So, right there, boom, 200 points. So, take time with this. All right, everybody good? All right. Okay, so there we go for that. Okay, so now let's talk about what we need to talk about today. And here we go. Make sure I get my little pin going here. And we're going to go with dark blue today. Okay, networking for your career. We're going to talk about professional networking and etiquette, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. I know some of these topics always sound the same. Actually, I will need red so it shows up. Okay, networking or not working. I always add that in because if you're not networking, you are not working. You're not going to get the best out of your career. You need to network all kinds of ways. It's talking with people and establishing those relationships. Okay. It can be formally through meetings, events, or informally. And they can be through emails, through social media accounts, and it will help you find jobs not advertised. More than half, more than 50% of the jobs are not advertised. Okay? Think about that. More than 50%. So if you're not networking, you're missing out on more than half of the available jobs. They are hidden from you. Think about that. You are missing more than half the jobs if you are not networking. And they tend to be the better jobs. Okay? And you jump ahead of the other people that might come along later. It gets you the interviews and it gets you more information about the company. So even if you have an interview, if you network with the people before, they'll tell you when you go, excuse me, when you go in for the interview, tell them this. They give you inside information. Okay, so networking is not all the same. A professional network are the people who support you in your career and other business endeavors. So, what does that mean? Other business endeavors. It's your investing. Okay. Other things that you may want to do. You may want to expand. You may want to start learning a secondary career because you may not be able to do that career forever, or you may want to switch careers. It's not uncommon for people to switch careers 4 or 5 times in their entire career, and they take skills from every career. Okay. Sheldon, I believe you did hair, right? That's correct. Okay. So those
Yes.
skills, those hand skills, believe it or not, those are perfect for transferring to a variety of different careers that people don't realize. That eye hand coordination crosses so many different areas. People in the welding profession don't like to hear this, but women in welding tend to do better seamless welds and more accurate welds than men. The eye-hand coordination tends to be a little bit better. Men tend to have to work at it a little bit harder, but yet they might excel better statistically in the math area. This could be the way we teach men over women. It doesn't mean that some women don't excel in this area. It is biased teaching. Okay, so these are things that you find out when you are learning and when you are growing. Now, informational interviewing. Does that ring a bell? We're doing two of them. You already did the first one. Now you're interviewing management. So this informational interviewing, it's a strategy. Look at that. You're a strategist. Okay. It's to get advice and direction rather than a job opportunity, which is exactly what you're doing. You're gaining insight. This is an incredible opportunity. Okay, now when you're networking, do not become self centered where you're just getting information. How many people share information to people who are trying to learn your career? Share information. Hey, this school's good to go to. This metal's easy to work with. I learned this. Let me show you this. Share your information because if you don't share, you're going to be rejected in your career. Okay? You support everybody in your career and they'll support you. How many people know people that will not show you anything? Learn it on your own. You will work with these people. If they don't share information, reject them. Don't be self centered. Reciprocate. This is how professions grow. Keeping information to yourself, no, that doesn't grow you as a professional. That tarnishes your reputation. Now, networking begins pre career and is permanent. You network now. You go to those trade shows, you go to these social events, you talk to people now, and it goes throughout your career. And your network's going to evolve over time as your career goes. Okay? It changes constantly. It's kind of like friends. Oh, you diss me? I don't like you no more. I no longer want you in my career? It's like that. You work with somebody and now you see that they're not such a good worker. You don't want to associate with them because it's going to tarnish your reputation. It's going to tarnish your brand. Have you ever worked with somebody, then all of a sudden their work starts going downhill? You find yourself distancing yourself from them. You don't want to be associated with a bad worker. So you can do face-to-face networking. That's anywhere groups of people or individuals are together. Okay. But before you network, get those business cards. They can be paper, they can be on your phone. And I just saw, if anybody's ever been to Disney and they got those little magic bands that you wear so you can, bump into the park and that, they have bands now that you can have people scan their phones on. You just wear the band and it's got all your contact information. Boop. You just have them scan your wristband. Guarantee you that is going to knock people out. They're going to love it. You can also get it on your smartwatch. They can just scan your watch and they have your contact information. Okay? Know what to ask people. Don't be uh like you did when you were first trying to meet people and you want to ask them out for a date. You know how goofy you sounded. Don't think that you were Joe Cool. You were a goofball and you know it. Don't be that person when you're networking face to face. Know what to ask. Online, you can do it with LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. Those are great places to go online. So, your business cards, you can print these up super, super cheap. Have your name, your title. Notice it wouldn't say student, it has your title because you are a professional. has your name, has your professional email, it has your LinkedIn account. Look down here. What's this? Oh my God. It is a brand statement. Boom. If you're using a paper card, on the back, you can either do your elevator pitch or list your skills. You've got a backside. Use it. Okay? Now, always use good manners. Speak properly. No slang. Okay? Speak properly. Open up your mouth. Smile when you talk. It'll make you speak louder and pronounce things better. Simple. That's why people smile when they're talking. It's not because they're just that happy. Okay, if they were, check their beverages. There's a reason why they're that happy. Okay, no, it makes you speak proper and out. Always use etiquette. Yes, sir, no, ma'am, smile, etc. Use those manners and let them know I'm looking for employment in this field and in this area. Let them know location because they may have a position, but it's not where you want to work. And if they don't say, if you know anybody who is hiring in this area, please let me know and move on. Don't badger them, don't harass them. Same thing on emails. Don't keep emailing them. Okay? Get the hint. It's like the person that turned you down for the date. Don't keep asking until they give up. Okay? In-person network. Dress appropriately. If you're going to be meeting people in a social situation, dress appropriately. Watch for anything that could offend, like in wording, etc. If you're meeting somebody for a set networking appointment, 15 minutes early, make sure your phone is on silent. That way, if you do get texts, etc., you're not being disturbed. If appropriate, use a handshake. Always look them in the eye when you're talking. Offer a business card or ask for one. And if you get their contact information, email them afterwards. Again, you're keeping yourself in front of them. Online etiquette, same thing, but always be positive and professional. Never slam anybody and never put a negative post. Even if it's true, don't put it because it looks bad on you. And do not flood the person's email. If they're not responding, leave them. Just walk away. Okay. And this one here on the final, right there, guarantee you it's on the final. Don't just email strangers to join your network. Okay. Now, if you're on LinkedIn and there's professionals out there that are well known, yes, you could join their network, but don't just randomly pick people if you haven't been introduced to them. Okay. No, no, no. Protect yourself. Now, we're doing LinkedIn and somebody asked about where things are. Listen up, listen up, listen up, because I'm going to tell you right here. LinkedIn, you have a profile that you create on there, and it's got a headline, summary, experience, education, skills, and endorsements. Okay? So, and the advantage of LinkedIn is it's search engine optimization, SEO. And what that does is it indexes so it ranks higher on the list and gets you better people. Okay. And that's how people find you. Okay. So your headline, this is the area where your name and everything goes in and all your info there. Okay. So that's your name, your location, your industry, and that's where your headshot goes. All right. So all that, your summary. This is your elevator pitch. That's where that goes. Your experience, that's where your work history goes. And your education is kind of self-explanatory. Okay, this is your resume, your skills, and your endorsement. Start with your most important ones that are related to your field. And there are badges you can get on there that prove that you have them. And LinkedIn has different groups you can join. Standard, which show up in research or in search results, and unlisted, which don't. Okay. And it'll ask you to join both types of groups. Okay. But you want to have those groups so that they can find people in those groups can find you. And that's how you network. Okay. Now, Twitter, we talked about that with job posts, things like that. And so, uh, and it is microblogging. Again, you set up a profile on there. Be careful who you talk to on there. Make sure they are the real deal. And then Instagram, that's where you're going to be socializing through pictures and video. And it's mobile centric, meaning it is geared towards phone use primarily. Now, for today, while you're doing all this online stuff, be safe. Know who you're sharing what with because we talked about locking things down. And I want you to answer this. So, this is your participation today. Have you ever been hacked or had your identity stolen? How did you fix it? And how can you prevent it? I want you to think about it. We've talked in the past things about passwords, sharing information, Googling yourself to see where you're showing up. What else can you do? Is purchasing software the answer? Think about different ways you can make yourself safe online. And that's what your question for today is, you know. So go through that. This is uh, the last full weekend of the class. Week 4 will open tomorrow. The next week we have 4 classes, and then you are done. And I'm so proud. I want to make sure that everybody stays working. Your answers are incredible. You guys are getting so much better every day. You're so much more skilled. Your confidence is showing in the writing. I see it improving. And I just want you to know how proud I am every day in watching you guys grow. So keep it up. You're almost there. One more week. All right? So hang in there, and we will see you Monday for our final 4 days. Y'all have a great weekend.